for $122. Look at this one. So let's talk about top 7 eyeshadow palettes I recommend for fall, and I think they're just perfect for everyone. Plus, I do have a bonus at the end, and I will let you know that bonus palette which I've been reaching out for the most. I will make sure to link everything down below, including what I'm wearing on my face. Let's get started. Number 1, I'll make sure to also give you the prices, and I will be posting them on the screen as well. So let's start with number 1, and they are in no particular order. It's just how I just thought I should just present them in this video. So it doesn't mean that number 1 is the best and number 7 is my least favorite. All of these are some of my favorites, and I think you're going to enjoy them as well. And the first one I'm going to talk about is the Makeup by Mario Master Matte Eyeshadow Palette. This palette is a beautiful matte warm toned palette. You have a lot of beautiful brown shades, which I think that they will be perfect for absolutely every skin tone. You can create that nice fall look. You can create a nice latte look. So with this type of tones and all the fall tones, I believe you can just create a very nice latte look that has been going viral on TikTok. And these are the shades close up. They're beautiful. They are very soft, very easy to work with. They blend beautiful on the eyes. I'm not wearing this today, but like I said, I will get into what I'm wearing on my eyes later on in the video. But I have been loving this palette. I love the size. I love that it has a very beautiful light tone in here and a darker one. You can create multiple looks with this. Even though it looks like it's a nice brown palette, it looks boring to the eye, but it's absolutely not. It's just gorgeous. So definitely love this palette. This retails for $68 Canadian. I will make sure to link down the US money on the screen as well, but I have all of this in Canadian right now. So definitely a great fall palette. Number 2 palette, and this is by Patrick Ta, and this is the Patrick Ta Major Dimension Eyeshadow Palette. This retails for $94.50, and it is just beautiful. So I love this type of tones. I love the rosy ones that he came out with in the first palette, but I didn't pick that one up. It's just for $94. It's expensive to buy both. I know he came out with a very matte one recently, which that's another great fall palette that you can buy. Very similar to the Makeup by Mario one, but in this type of design and packaging with the 2 cream shades and also with all mattes here. Now I love that this has a lot of shimmers, and spoiler alert, I am wearing most of it on my eyes is from this palette. I have used this brown all over the bottom eyelid, a little bit in the crease, and I went with this dark shimmery brown in the outer corner and with the lightest shimmery shade all over the inner corner and kind of combined it with the outer corner. And also I used this darker brown underneath my lash line. This is such a beautiful palette. The formula is a little bit more heavier than the Makeup by Mario, but these shades are just so pretty. Like, look at those beautiful shades. I just love them, and they all look like they give you that nice wet look. So if you like that type of wet look, kind of what I'm wearing on my eyes, I think that this palette is for you. It's just so beautiful and perfect for fall. They just swatch and apply on the eyes beautifully. Look at those, and I still have them on my fingers. I am loving this palette for many reasons. You can just stop and create a very nice soft matte look, or you can apply one of those shimmery shades and give yourself that nice wet look and bring your eye look to another level. But I think that this palette is perfect. I love that he has 4 shimmery shades. I'm sure I would love the matte one too, but for $94.50, I can't pick it up. It's just too expensive, and one is enough. Don't get me wrong, I would love to have it too. Number 3 is my Dior palette. I have a review on all of these palettes on my channel actually, and this is the Dior Backstage Eye Palette 001 Nude Essentials. This retails for $65 as well. It's so pretty. Like, you can't go wrong with Dior. I, again, love that it has this. In the previous ones, it used to be a shade that you use it for setting the eyelids before you apply the shades. But I love that they came out with this beautiful white shimmery shade. It is gorgeous. Perfect for that inner corner or brightening effect. I love to use this in the inner corner, and let me show you how I like to use it. Boom. Okay, so I'm just gonna go a little bit like this, and I left my inner corner open so you guys can see how I like to use this shade the most. So don't be afraid of the white shade. Look at that. Doesn't it just changes the whole eye look? I just love it. So yeah, this is a beautiful inner corner shade, and you can use it on the eyelid. It comes with some really nice satin finish shades. That's another beautiful shade. They're all gorgeous. They're like satin finish. There's no glitter, chunky glitters. It's just perfect. I love this pop of red. I will swatch that for you so you can see what it looks like. At first, I think the palette would have looked much prettier with the red, but I think that red just gives it a nice pop of color, and it's a very nice satin finish red. So you can just use it in many different ways. You can just use it in the crease for just a little bit of that red. If you don't like to use it all over the eyelid because you think it gives you that sick type of eye look, then just incorporate it somehow, putting it in the crease only, and I think you will love it. So yeah, this is another beautiful fall palette I recommend. So you notice that we're staying in the nice latte brown shades. My next one is the Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Pillow Talk Dreams Luxury Palette. Look at that. Now this retails for $74.50. This has a little bit more pinky tones. However, I love this palette for fall. I think that the two shades here, there's two mattes, two shimmers, they're just perfect for fall. The shades are so soft to the touch, and it's just non-powdery. It's just so, you get that nice, soft, elegant feeling. Wow, when I touch this palette, I have to use this more often for sure. And then let me show you the actual shimmers. They are so pretty. I'm barely touching the actual pan. And this is more of a satin finish, and this is more of a glittery finish, but non-chunky glitters. And then this is more of a satin finish. Very beautiful. So I think that you can use this palette for fall as well. The shades are beautiful. I just love them, and so easy to travel small. $74.50. It's quite expensive, but it's Charlotte Tilbury and you can't go wrong with it. Number 5, this is probably one of my most expensive palettes in today's video, and of course it is the Tom Ford palette in 04 Suspicion, and this retails for $122. Now, I did not buy this palette. It was gifted to me by my parents for my birthday because it's just so expensive. There's no way I could just spend $122 on 4 shades. Now, these are all shimmery shades, and all of them, the way they're created, you can just use them all over the eyelids. Now, the only problem I want to show you is that for $122, look at this. This one actually just came unglued. I'm very careful with all of these palettes. I never like throw them or chuck them. Disappointing that for $122, that one came unglued. So if I were to take it out, it looks like this, which is quite sad for $122, hey? Yeah, so probably I'm not gonna repurchase another Tom Ford palette. One is enough because of the pricing as well. But let me tell you, the formula, even though that it came unglued, the formula is just amazing. Every time I'm wearing this palette on my eyes, I do get compliments, and I do love the eye look. It's just so unique and different than everything I've worn before on my eyes. Everything, the way that they blend together in using all 4 shades at once, all over the eyelid from top to bottom. It's just such a stunning look that you can create. And even though they're shimmery or satin finish, you can just put them all over the eyelid in the same format. The darker shade in the outer corner, like the middle shade, kind of a transition, the lighter shades in the inner corner and all over the eyelid. You won't be disappointed with this palette. However, the disappointing thing is that you spend so much money and one of the shades comes undone. I don't think that that's right. So for $122, those things should not be happening. However, the formula is just stunning. So that's another great fall palette. Now here is a very special palette, and this is probably, no, it's not the cheapest. It's the Gwen Stefani palette, and this is by Give. This retails for $38. And this is it. I got this actually from TJ Maxx. This is the Simple Kind of Life palette, and it has this very muted neutral shades. They do show up on the eyelid. At first I thought that they were probably gonna blend with my skin. However, they're just beautiful, and it's a very fast look you can put together. If you don't want to come across that you're wearing any type of makeup, these shades are perfect for you. They're gonna show up very muted. However, it does give something to the eye. This shade is what I'm wearing today in the crease and above, so you can see how beautiful it looks. And this is very special because my beautiful daughter Dela, she bought this for me when we went to TJ Maxx without me knowing, part of a birthday gift for me. So she was just so sweet. That's why I love this so much, even more than how much I love the palette. And it's $38. You can't go wrong with it. It's just beautiful muted fall tones, so definitely recommend this one for fall too. And my 7th palette, stay tuned, I have a bonus palette. You cannot go wrong with the mini nude Natasha Denona palette. They have a kit on the Sephora website and it retails for $34. Yeah, and it comes with a brush, and look at the shades. You can see how much I've used this palette because you can see the bends inside some of the shades. I love this palette because all of the shades you can use on your eye. There's not one shade that you're like, I probably won't be touching that. I love this palette, and this is a perfect fall palette. I love to use this even during summer, spring, anytime, but the shades are perfect for fall. Love to use this as a transition. Love to use all shimmer shades however you want. And I love that it has a dark shade to either intensify the outer corner or use it as a liner on your eye. You can't go wrong with this palette. So if you want to pick up a mini palette by Natasha Denona, if you haven't tried her formula, this is a perfect start. And bonus palette, this is by Natasha Denona again, and it is on sale right now from Sephora. And this is the Natasha Denona Glam Face palette. I got mine in the lightest one. I really want the darkest, deepest shade one as well. This is on sale to $78, and regular price it is $84. This shades, again, very similar to the mini nude one. So if you do want to try one, try this one because it's cheaper. But this one is more expensive because it comes with a blush and a highlighter. And I have been using this non-stop as well. And it comes with this flap so that it doesn't dry up the blush and it doesn't contaminate with the eyeshadows. So again, this palette is named Inner Corner, Transition, Crease, Outer Corner, and Smoke. Very easy for beginners to understand where to put the eyeshadows on the eyes. The colors and the shades are just perfect for fall. You can't go wrong with this palette, the same as the mini one. And for some reason, out of all of my palettes, I have been reaching out for this one. Something about the shades are just so beautiful and easy to blend, easy to work with, everyday fast minimal look you can go with this palette. With all of these palettes, again, you can just use one shade all over the eye with a pop of shimmer and you're done. And you have this nice caramel latte makeup look with this type of shade. So yeah, this is the bonus palette I wanted to mention because it's a great palette. It's on sale at Sephora and it's Natasha Denona, great for traveling as well, very thin and small. Love them. That's it. Let me tell you what I'm wearing. I guess I already told you what I'm wearing on my eyes. It's the Gwen Stefani brown shade and of course the Patrick Ta shades. I love all these palettes equally. That's it for me today, and I cannot wait to see you in my next one. Love you guys. Bye.